You've plugged it in upside down, flipped it, tried again, and somehow it still didn't work, even though this port was literally designed to avoid that problem. It's on almost every modern device. It's supposed to simplify our lives, and yet it has caused more confusion than it ever promised to solve. I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, what exactly is USB-C? Right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start with the biggest misunderstanding on Earth. USB-C is not a speed, not a power level, and not a feature list. USB-C is just the shape of the connector. That's it. That little rounded rectangle you plug in? That's USB-C. Think of USB-C like a door. Just because a door exists doesn't mean you know what's behind it. It could be a storage closet. It could be a kitchen. It could be a room full of haunted dolls. USB-C works the same way. The port looks identical, but what it can actually do depends on what's wired behind it. This is why one USB-C cable charges your laptop at lightning speed. Another charges it slowly while whispering, "I'm doing my best." And a third does absolutely nothing while gaslighting you into thinking the outlet is broken. USB-C was designed to replace older USB shapes with one universal connector. And visually, it succeeded. Functionally, that's where things got interesting. Before USB-C, USB ports were a mess. You had USB-A, USB-B, mini USB, micro USB, and about 12 cursed variations that only fit one specific device you owned in 2011. USB-C was created to end this madness. Its goals were actually very noble. Make the plug reversible, increase how much power it can safely carry, allow faster data transfer, and create one connector that could handle modern devices without snapping, bending, or emotionally betraying you. USB-C is symmetrical, meaning there's no wrong way to plug it in. In theory. In practice, you still miss twice out of habit because trauma. It also supports much higher power delivery than older USB connectors. USB-C can safely deliver up to 100 watts under the official USB power delivery standard, which is why it can charge laptops, not just phones. That's not magic. That's engineering, negotiation protocols, and a cable that knows what it's allowed to do. So USB-C isn't trying to be confusing. It's trying to be capable. Unfortunately, capability without clear labeling is how you get chaos. Here's the part that drives everyone insane. Two USB-C ports can look identical and behave completely differently. One might support fast data speeds. One might only do slow data. One might charge your device. One might not. One might do everything. One might exist purely for decoration. This happens because USB-C is just the connector, but the standards behind it vary wildly. The port might be wired for older USB standards or newer ones. The cable itself might limit speed or power, and unless the manufacturer clearly labels everything, which they often don't, you're left playing USB roulette. This is not user error. This is design complexity meeting real human behavior. USB-C tried to future-proof technology by allowing many capabilities through one port. But without consistent communication, users are left guessing. And guessing with electricity is never relaxing. Now for the plot twist nobody warns you about. The cable matters just as much as the port. Not all USB-C cables are equal. Some are built to handle high power. Some are built for fast data speeds. Inside many USB-C cables is actual logic, tiny internal wiring, and in some cases, chips that tell devices what the cable can safely handle. It's like the cable raising its hand and saying, "Hey, I'm comfortable with this much power, but anything more than that, and I will panic." If a cable isn't rated for higher power, your device won't force it. Instead, it politely slows down charging or refuses entirely because melting cables is bad for brand reputation. This is why swapping cables sometimes feels like a miracle cure. You didn't fix the port. You didn't unlock a hidden setting. You just grabbed a cable that was actually qualified for the job. So, when USB-C seems inconsistent, it's usually not lying, it's negotiating. And the cable is often the weakest negotiator in the room. USB-C isn't broken. It's just extremely honest about its limits, while being extremely quiet about explaining them. USB-C is a universal connector designed to simplify modern devices by using one small, reversible port for power and data. It's powerful, flexible, and genuinely well-engineered, but it suffers from inconsistent labeling and consumer confusion. USB-C isn't the villain. It's the middle manager who got handed every responsibility without clear instructions. Once you understand that USB-C is a shape first and a capability second, the confusion suddenly makes sense. And while it may not always behave the way you expect, it is the reason you no longer own a drawer full of 12 different charging cables from 2009. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe stop plugging it in and out now. Maybe it's actually broken. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.